What is going on, people? Okay, so I'm going to be doing my Sunday market breakdown. Some massive things have happened Friday afternoon. So this is basically my Friday market breakdown for the Sunday market breakdown. So I'm just going to be breaking down my pairs for the week. So yeah, we're going to jump straight into it. First one we have is the DXY. The Dixie is basically looking really nice on the weekly time frame. Obviously, we don't have any major inflection zone that's actually been breached, but um, we do have this zone here where we broke above, and we are basically we can still sell off from here. There's no there's nowhere to say that we are going to come all the way back up here, but this is the zone that we will look at as well. But at the moment we are seeing some good selling momentum here. So if we can continue this momentum downwards, we might negate this price, which is basically like this, currently looking like a bull flag and pushing higher. But we might actually just, if we did continue, then we could potentially target certain lows and see where we could potentially be moving to. So this is something that I'm quite interested in. Also, we had this larger structure here which we were clearly looking at, and we have rejected from there. Unfortunately, it's not how um, we would have liked to reject, but as of yesterday, we were currently looking at, this is the middle section and us to potentially move higher. If we do continue this push lower, we could potentially just bypass this and continue. So it is something we're keeping in mind. But however, this as the push up, the middle section, and the higher time frame, this is something that I am really looking for on the DXY. So keeping it a lot more cleaner. Just basically going to be looking at the middle section and then price to basically reject and potentially make its way back up here, which will essentially probably bypass this zone, and then we might or even come to that zone and sell off. So see how that develops. If that does develop and shape up, that would be really nice. At the moment we do essentially have and if we just separate this structure, what we have here is we've got this as a potential bigger part, but then in here, you can contemplate that this is a flag in itself, and this isn't just a piece of news, or I mean, news didn't really cause, but just a bit of spike in market. Essentially, this could have all been priced in, and we could be looking at, this is the zone to take price even further, negate this sort of thesis here, and essentially we could be coming up here, creating something even more deeper. Um, and this could be something that we could be looking at. So, just bearing that in mind that, we don't have to essentially go down, but we can still come up. So still being very, very cautious. Looking pretty good at the moment though. The next one I'm looking at is Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is looking good as well. We did shape up to essentially a very good zone at the moment. So we broke this low previously, and we have been sitting in here for a couple days, which is technically pretty good in a sense because we're building up momentum to push lower. So if we do push lower, essentially what we could see is price just sell off. So what we're looking for is really a push and a flag, but if we do sell off, this could be pretty good for the move, because essentially we are in a strong downtrend. It's a very corrective trend. However, what I do like about it is this there is structure within it. It just takes a long time to shape up. However, if we're looking at this flag over here, for example, it took roughly around about 10 days to shape up. If we look at this section over here, roughly around about 10 days. So, in terms of momentum for the market, there's definitely enough price in here for us to push lower. So I wouldn't get caught up with just this spike up. I'll be more interested in seeing how price develops over here. I wouldn't be surprised if we did push up again, come back down, create a flag, and then go. That would be more for nice gameplay. However, if we do just push off now and have a nice little impulse away, create a nice little flag, that would be something I would also be very interested in. So what I'm currently looking at now is just analyzing this. I'm not too fussed about this 3-touch here because it isn't the sort of 15-minute 3-touch sort of corrective price I'm looking at. I'm more so interested in if we're moving like this, we can just continue, get up here, and then if we do just push up there, we'll evaluate when we see a flag on the way down. Obviously not that big, but we'll see. So that's it for Aussie CAD really. Okay, so Aussie Swiss is the next one. To be honest, Aussie Swiss was one that I was pretty sure that we are coming around on this one. I do like it a lot. So just pretty much just putting it in here. Where are we in structure? Well, we had this move down. We had this push down, correction, push down. Okay, makes sense. What are we seeing now? We're seeing a strong impulsive push up, which we haven't seen for quite a while, which could be an indication that either we are creating a larger correction to continue lower, or essentially we could just be creating continue a reversal now. But I would really be inclined to just see where price actually ends up inflicting. So looking at this as a potential inflection zone, if price can continue up in this direction, that would be something of interest to myself. So what we did have is we had this inflection zone, so I would like to see price push above here. The nice thing is we are kind of just retesting that sort of zone at the moment. So what I'm really interested in right now is, can we push above here? And if we do continue and move above this structure as well, that would be of something of interest to myself. How we move there is also very important. So obviously what I don't want to really be caught in is sort of the same sort of corrective price that we saw on the way down, on the way back up. I mean, obviously, if I do see that, then I'm not going to be holding this long term, and I could potentially see this come down as a larger flag. However, at this point, I'm really seeing this comes in here, creates some sort of flag over here, and then boom, we go off. I mean, obviously there might be some more corrections on the way up; it won't be as quick. However, if we do move up pretty impulsively, that's what I'm looking for, because that could be the move that creates this larger flag here that pushes us higher. And if we do go higher, looking on the weekly, we have a lot of room for scale. I'm not too concerned about the percentage, but I'm more concerned about how long can I be involved in this position, how long can I manage it, and pretty much where can this position take me before I get into my next one. So that's definitely what I'll be looking at on the game plan here. However, bearing in mind we have broke below this zone, so we are in a state of corrective price moving lower. However, it doesn't mean that this is the time where we're going to move up. It is definitely a very valuable zone to be looking at. However, just one to be looked at. So I'll probably mark that one on. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one. The next one I'm looking at is Aussie New Zealand. Aussie New Zealand as well, just like many other Aussie pairs at the moment, it's actually looking really nice. So we basically had a rejection from this high zone here, and we can even contemplate that this is an evening, an evening star, to go to the low on the weekly. So knowing that that's an evening star, what could we be looking for to get involved? Well, there was actually plenty of continuation, and it's a shame that I wasn't able to capitalize on this, because there was definitely some opportunity in here for for money to be made. I mean, I do like the fact that we broke below this, we created continuation on it. There's some continuation flag here, but the nicest part is that now that we've broken this low, the thesis that I had, that this was the left shoulder, this was the head, and then the right shoulder could have been down here, that's gone. Not to say that this can't come back up, it's definitely a possibility. However, the one thing I do like is that we've broken that low. So looking for continuation over here, that's more than enough for me right now. So not going to look for perfection, going to wait, see how structure forms down there, analyze it for next week, and see if that's something I want to take. So that's one I'll definitely be keeping on watch, because now that we've broken below here, I've definitely got my next target zone, enough room to manage it. And there's definitely a huge move on the table, and this can be a start of a major run. So definitely keep eyes on this one. Next one I'm looking at is Aussie US dollar. This one I actually quite like as well. Just I think, to be really honest with Aussie US dollar, I think I'm not going to be putting this one on watch, for the pure fact that there's it's just looking at other Aussie pairs. I think I'll be looking at those. But if I was going to take Aussie US dollar, I'll definitely be looking at that low we broke, and then the actual low down here, and then obviously there's an inflection zone there that we're currently sitting on. So Currently, I wouldn't go down this far because we're weeks away from that, but not to say we can't still push there impulsively. We are in a state of impulse correction, impulse correction. However, looking at how this price action is formed, and obviously this very low value inflection point over here, which still forms as an inflection point, that forms as one, and that forms as one. So, I'm not really bothered about that, to be honest. I'm more so inclined to see what in states of continuation, what we're seeing is state of continuation. Are we seeing a larger flag form here? If we see a larger flag, this nice little corrective piece of action here may actually be a move to move lower. However, it's not really something I'm looking for. So for that reason, I'm not really going to dip my toes in Aussie US dollar, and I'm just going to leave it as it is. But bear in mind, if you are taking this, there's definitely probably going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, could be 5, 6 flags of it, but it's just way too corrective at the moment. And I don't want to be sitting in sort of, a flag that just kind of just sits like this and can just go for ages. So it's not a sort of price action I want to be in, and that's always possible, especially with this particular pair. So I'm not saying that it will trickle and go sideways for that long, but it can. So yeah, once again, I'll be looking at another pair. The next one I'm looking at is Aussie Yen. I think Yen pairs across the board are on fire right now. So from my previous video today, obviously I was looking at them in the morning, and Yen pairs didn't really look like they were shaping up, but at the moment, there's definitely some massive potential on the table, and maybe the recent price action has definitely painted that, and that's the one nice thing about trading is you can be extremely patient, and then one bit of price action can actually change everything. However, at the moment, and I've said this many times before, I'm not highly confident with my yen pair, so I won't be actively jumping on positions with it at the moment until I've got enough data backed up, but I will be monitoring them. So looking at this, obviously how we've approached it with a 1-2-3, which is extremely nice. I think that definitely a lot of people opted in for this particular trade. There was definitely a risk entry trade on the table here, not an entry I would take due to a lack of experience on this particular pair. However, nevertheless, this pair can definitely be one to definitely bank a lot of nice profit. So if we take this particular trade here, and let's just say that just having a little forecast on it, this could potentially be the trade here on the daily, and that is the larger flag. So a lot of people are probably looking at this nice little spacing, and then boom, we come in for the touch over there. We didn't quite reject, we came back up, we took out some more orders, pulling all that liquidity back into the market, and then boom, we're literally on our way back down. So there's probably going to be a lot of opportunity right below here. It's probably going to be a nice little flag over here for an entry, even probably some entry in here as well somewhere, if I just drill down. But even so, if you look at the bigger picture, what happens if we do end up just pushing and continuing, we could be making it to first target probably right this low, that low, and then looking at the bigger picture, where else could we be going? There's nowhere to say that we have to go back up here. We can just reject down here, but also vice versa. We can just turn around and start pulling back up. So I'm keeping that in mind, but it's definitely going to be happening on a lot of yen pairs, and definitely looking at them. If we're selling off on Aussie yen, you can bet your bucks we're going to see similar price action. I think UJ is one that is going to be immense, so definitely stay tuned for that one. So the next one I've got on watch is actually CAD Swiss. CAD Swiss it's okay. I mean, it's not something that I'm like dying to get involved in. I'll be honest with you. I mean, CAD Swiss is one that I think I rarely really look to take trades on. But definitely there is some good opportunity in it. Just looking at it from a bigger perspective, there's opportunity there. It's just one that I think you've really got to wait for, because it does take days to shape up, but obviously there's money to be made. So that's something that obviously I think I would definitely be thinking about, but I don't think I'll be taking a trade on it. I think with this particular pair, if there's a flag down there, we can be coming in here to be moving very corrective. Makes me want to yawn, so I'm definitely going to move on to another pair. It's not something that I am looking for at this current moment in time. So like I said, better pairs on the table. It's nothing to waste my time with. Now, the next one is CAD Yen. Now, CAD Yen is sick. I gotta say. Obviously, I did have it on watch about 2 weeks ago. Took it off. Opted in for EJ and UJ, but damn, CJ is nice. So currently, what we're seeing is, and obviously, I'm not saying that we are in a momentum to sell off right now, but the nice thing is, if we look at this point here, we had a near miss. We did come and fill that. We filled it in some level of a corrective structure over here. We'll draw down onto the daily and have a little look into that. So what did we actually see? Well, we saw this came in, pushed here, created a flag, pushed up higher, came in for a double top, didn't quite reach it the first time, came in the second time, pushed above, sold off a little bit, came in at the bottom, created a larger flag over here, and then what happened was we actually, after we created this larger structure, after this bull flag, larger structure over here, we actually came up, broke above, which is really nice. So what that technically is doing is taking out the liquidity in the market over here, and then we actually push lower. It's unfortunate that this flag here wasn't able to commit, because if that flag committed, it would have been sick. But unfortunately, what happened was price pushed back up, which is not an issue. We just have to wait, be a bit more patient, and then during this period here, we can currently see that we're having these volatile little spikes, but doesn't really say that we're going to sell off. It's just volatility in the market at the moment. So definitely we can see that either big buyers are getting out of the market, and the market's eventually going to turn around, or this could be the start of the sell run. So I'm not going to take a premature entry right now and just jump in the market. I'll definitely be looking for a little sell and get involved in something, because there's an abundance of opportunity on the way in this trade. However, right now what we can see is, we've broken above. We've definitely double topped over here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if we look at it, we're definitely in that double top above structure. Nice little arc over here. And what did we do? We had an impulsive sell. Now this impulsive sell, this could just keep going for a little bit over the evening. Where we're about 6 o'clock today, not even nowhere near high spread hours. We could definitely sell off a little bit. What we could be seeing is a nice little opportunity over here somewhere. And if this forms just below this low as well, oh, that's going to be immense. This might actually just sell, may even just carry on. It might pull back, but like I said, I'll be extra patient. I'll be looking for something a little bit more than just that. I'll definitely be looking for a structure to, basically activate some sort of rule, preferably the Falcon 90, but I'll be looking at this. And then just basically just see how we approach this trend. I don't want it to get very corrective and then myself to get tagged in or something like that. So definitely be extra safe on my side, but for a lot of people who are looking to take in some risk type of trades, I'll definitely be saying, could be some continuation here that could be big. So we'll have to wait and see. Next one is Swiss yen. I thought I was excited about CAD yen, but Swiss yen is sick, honestly. I gotta say, Swiss yen is definitely got some nice little momentum in it. I think Swiss yen is going to be big for the sell. Honestly, I think looking at this, I mean, I wish we were at these override levels too. We bypass this and we create some mass psychology. But you know what? Like, we're still in a great time in the market, and I think I'm not really concerned about where exactly we are, because there's going to be so much opportunity. Even if we don't sell from, if we start selling off from here, there's going to be so much room if we do start selling. So, like I said, it don't really matter. But damn, like, just got to appreciate what's been happening. I mean, that the amount of opportunity that there is in the market when you see it is insane, and I'll be honest with you, like, I'm super grateful to Mark, I'm super grateful to Falcon, like, for anybody who's trying to get in it, this is it, straight, like, can't even express it. But anyway, going off from there, we definitely got some corrective pricing over here. This can still continue, but I mean, we're at this point where I think if this is the structure, no way in the line says that is a structure. Could be angle, could be different, but I'll be looking at this particular price, and I think nice little price action over here, candles, nice little continuation. We've come back up, we've created some level of arc. We don't have to reach the top, call that a bit of volatility. We're in there, we're in that area now. Just have to be extra patient. Like I said, on the other CJ was, just got to wait. Now, what I do like about this is, how have we reached this? We've reached this impulsively, looking for continuation down here. Boom, that's me. I'm straight in that entry. I mean, you know, why would you not want to get involved in that? Well, simple. There might be this particular part in the way, and it could be essentially, well, if that sells off, goes there, and then comes up, that could be the thing that stops me. Well, really and truly, there's enough room to manage there, way more than enough room. And if that builds up enough momentum, then we know we could potentially just bypass through that, and our trade will be in a very good place. So just weighing up our risk reward, let's just say call it a 35 pip stop loss. You're in there, even to that low 6%. If it pulls back on you, you probably have already about 3.84% locked in. So, and then you're looking to this low down here, you're potentially looking at 25% onwards. Honestly, that's not even the start of the run. The run is down here. If we even come to this low here, that's 123%. Where do you see 123% with a 1% risk? Honestly, that is great return. Obviously, I'm not saying it's going to go there, and I'm not saying it'll go there overnight. That's the weekly chart. But, you know, looking at it on a higher time frame, that's without scale. There's definitely a huge percentage to be made. And getting into positions like that can change your trades. And obviously, as we know with yen pairs, these can sell off. This can sell from here to here in a day. Probably not one day exactly, but definitely in a week. But yeah, it could just sell off. As quick as it comes up, it can come back down. So that's something I'm going to definitely be aware of. And yeah, I think there's going to be some massive opportunity on the table for these. So yeah, let's just wait and see how it revolves. The next one I'm looking at is EA, Euro Aussie. Now, basically just drawing this expanding. I do really like this actually. I think, in terms of the way price has been moving, if we just split this up really quickly, we definitely have these nice structures. However, we've been moving very correctively, so I wouldn't be surprised if eventually we do sort of break above. At the moment, I think looking at how price is and just splitting it up and just taking this out of the equation, we're moving up pretty nice. There's nice structure, nice movement. It's giving a lot of opportunity. Obviously, I know one thing is people get trickled out quite a lot over here. So definitely going to be on my management game, because this chart is sick. It's just need to be smart. And I think in these areas here is where you need to be the smartest. So I think right now I'm going to be A game management. Going to wait till we break this low. We push in. Once we push in, I'm going to look for a flag here, and we're going to be out. And I think that's where I want to be. I want to be involved over here. I don't want to be involved over here. I want to be involved over here. Time and time again, after back testing, I've seen it. We get to the top, but we start doing some crazy stuff, and we get taken out, and we lose our money up here. Just get involved here. That's what I'm going to do, and that's going to be my game with EA. So the next one I'm looking at is EuroCAD. This one is extremely simple. This low is what I looked at. Price came here, looking for continuation. As simple as that. Now, the cool thing about EuroCAD is that the structure is really nice. As you can see, throughout EuroCAD, we've got nice structure over here expanding. We've got nice little structure over there, structure over here. And even if I don't take this trade, the structures that form on this particular pair are, we could say that only recently they were quite easy to read, but if you do analyze data, there is a lot of easy structure to actually see. You just need to know what you're looking for and read between the lines. And essentially, there could be really nice structure on the way up here. So essentially, to meet with these highs here, this could be a great trade to even be in. So essentially, I think I'm gonna definitely be patient with this one, but I think EuroCAD definitely has a lot of money to definitely be involved in. So definitely something to keep in mind. But that's it for EuroCAD for me. Cool. So I've got Euro Swiss. Kind of comes in a little bit like EuroCAD, but a little bit nicer in my opinion. Now, the reason why I do like it is, okay, so we broke the absolute low. Said this in a previous SMB as well. January 2015, we've broken that low. We've created new history, new absolute low. We started pushing up. Now, does this mean that this is the time? So many people are buying in this area right now. This is a time in the market where we could take out a lot of cash before we go. And I think that could potentially be something that happens, but we can just still go. This is, not everyone knows how to trade, but really and truly, if we do come in and we do something crazy like this, and then we create this expanding sort of, Let me just draw that on. So let's just say we create some sort of expanding like this. Wouldn't say it's not normal, but you know, it can always happen. And then comes in here, and then with the buys come in, that will be crazy. That will be something that I think will be awesome, because a lot of people will get tagged out in the market. However, a lot of people will be entering the market as well. And you know, I think a lot of people have entered the market in this area here, but you know, we'll see. There was definitely a nice little messy flag over there. But you know, definitely some opportunity there. And then now we've just started trickling. You know, this sort of price nature isn't something that I usually quite like getting involved in. So if I'm looking for a trade, it could potentially be for the short, and the short could be happening right now as we speak. So you know, looking on the 4-hour chart, we did have a little break above, started pushing down, but we're still in this corrective price. And how we're moving on the 1 hour isn't the sort of price action I'm looking for. You know, we're basically just kind of jumping around in here. So what I want to see is a strong little breakout, continuation, and then you know, this is a consolidation and continuation, and that's what I want to be in. And then hopefully, if we do come down here to this particular low, this might be the larger flag that takes us higher, or we might create an expanding, and then we might move in that sort of formation. So there's quite a few things that could shape up, but Euro Swiss, come back and reevaluate it. But at the moment, it's still in that trickling side of things, so it may not be something that I want to put on watch. Okay, Euro GBP. Euro GBP is also quite nice. Do you know what? I think I say that about a lot of pairs, don't I? But it's not really one I'm going to trade, actually, to be honest. Definitely looking at it over here, you know, we had this inflection zone, we have this sort of sell-off there. You know, what could potentially happen is we could see sort of continuation over here, and then we see some sort of move lower. But at the moment, I'm not really convinced with that. I don't think that this is where we're going to be selling off, but you know, I'm looking at this as a look at that push off, correction, push off, correction. We're just kind of we could be seeing this happening for sure, but at the moment I'm not convinced really. I'm not really convinced, but that's definitely an area where we could be seeing some move lower now. We could be seeing something like that pushing in here. Obviously, that doesn't really have to be the angle, but this could be it. Move it up ever so slightly now. Look on the 1 hour, and yeah, that could be it. That could have been the corrective leg, which was moving up here, and then we've now made our move there. I think for me, a flag out here would be nicer, just only because I don't want to be in and out of this trade. I want to be in a trade which has some level of high probability in my favor. We've broken that roll impulsively. Could even be a little bit lower, to be honest. Not bothered. There's a lot of room there, and we could potentially get lower. So, you know, I could be looking at something like this before we even go anywhere, and then the angle changes ever so slightly. We start creating something different. It could even be a running channel. It could be so many things. Definitely a lot of potential there. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Maybe I might have it on watch. You know, I think I'll come back and I'll think about that one. But yeah, whew, that's nice. Euro, New Zealand dollar. Whew, can't really say much right now because we've moved down impulsively. We've come down here. Definitely gonna have to see some sort of. It's yeah. It's one of them ones that, you know, it's just you got to be on your management game. You really got to be on your management game. Look how we're moving correctively, but we can just keep correcting down. I don't want to be caught in a price action like this, to be honest. You know, I've been in here way too many times, and it's not nice. A push up, create morning star. You know, it's just maybe I'll give it. I don't know. You know, the weeklies, like the weeklies where it's at, and the weekly tells you, you know, quite a lot about this particular pair. We come up here, we pushed. Are we just in the state of push down, larger flag, getting lower, or is it really what it is? And we have a strong push up, we'll create a larger flag, push up higher. I just don't want to be in this zone, you know. I think with Euro pairs all looking pretty similar in a way, you know, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's not really one I want to get involved in. So for that case, I think I'm going to be more so leaving it. But if I was going to take a trade, I would wait for a solid push down, looking for flags over here and then down. Obviously not on the daily time frame, on the you know, well, that corrective price would put me off ever so slightly, depending on how it was. But if it was just a strong push down from where it is now, creates a flag out down there, and then we're off, that might be something I might look for. But really and truly, that always has the room to just, do something crazy and create some level of expanding on me. So it's not one I'm going to get involved in, to be honest. I think flags down here, continuations, that's something I'll be interested in. Definitely, like I said, abundance, 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 abundance. So much opportunity. So I'll wait, be patient. Finally, Euro USD, long awaited, my friend. Just obviously going back from we had originally we went through the DXY. DXY is looking pretty fiery. Obviously, there's the potential for it to go long before it goes short. However, if we do continue, we could sell off. And at the moment, looking at how the Euro USD has become extremely corrective, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see bull run on the DXY. But at the same time, looking at this, what are we seeing? Well, we're seeing what I originally was looking at. I mean, I was originally looking at something like that. I think it was something like this. Anyway, it's irrelevant right now, but actually, no, I think it is what I already drew here. And we meet with this sort of zone here, and then we ever so much evolve. But at the moment, looking at how price is developing here, we might have enough to just, come from this zone here and then just push. Yeah, there's a lot to think about. I mean, right now, I don't think it's enough. I'll wait till market close. We are only at 6 o'clock, so there will be a couple more candles. We are sitting in this highly good value area, but at the moment, it's looking nice. It's looking really nice. Definitely will be patient with that one as well. Impulsively got there, so a lot can change, but I do like how price is moving. I do like that there's a potential different variations of what could potentially play out, especially on the larger time frame as well. Just it's not really the price action right now that I really want to start jumping into and putting any sort of level of risk, 1%, 0.5, 0.3, whatever the situation. Don't want to get involved in that right now out of, FOMO or something. So anyway, we'll reevaluate shortly, but at the moment, I think it's not fully developed. Sick. Euro yen. Now, I think Euro yen is actually pretty decent. Honestly, like how it's been performing is nice. Structurally, it's nice. Definitely, I think this might give me an indication that two things. We could potentially be um, pushing higher. Doesn't matter how high. We could potentially be going for this. This is what I've been looking at for quite a while, but I think that that override could be enough at this point, because there's definitely some room for this to come up here. But I think before it comes up here, we could see an inflection and create this larger flag in the middle before we go higher. And I think that is what the real gameplay could potentially be. But I've missed out a few trades on this particular one, and it's only because it just goes. It's not the cleanest in terms of structure. We see these sideward angle flags, and we're seeing them quite time and time again. So I don't know if it's something that I just wasn't able to capitalize on because I wasn't paying attention enough. But I think angled flags is the one on this one. Not my sort of angle, but I'll get used to it. But yeah, in time, these ball flags are definitely where it's at. So reevaluate shortly. Not looking for anything at the moment. EJ is looking sick. Just want to wait, see how market closes. I bet odds are high spread hours ends. We just push up here. We sit on that line, confuse people for the weekend, and then we just sit there for a day or two. I don't know, man. We just gotta wait and see. EJ looks good. So GA, absolute beast of a pair. It's one of those pairs which always reminds me, like, you can absolutely hate a pair and have extremely bad experiences with it, and then eventually you can learn a pair, get really good at it, and then just love the pair. you know. And GA is that pair for me, you know. And I think a few yen pairs will be in the future, but you know, GA, honestly, like my strike rate was terrible. I was missing these enormous positions and I was just losing money and I was just confused. And then, well, losing percentages. And then I realized later on that actually, I wasn't looking for the right thing. And then when I learned how I wanted to trade it, what I was looking for, where I wanted to enter in GA, I was able to capitalize. And I think you know that can apply to a lot of people with a lot of different pairs, but it just takes some time. You just really got to spend some time and really learn your pair. So what I'm actually looking at is this low here, this low as a near miss. Now we know we've had a significant push away and we don't have to come back. However, what we currently have is a rejection at this level here. Now, for a while I was thinking if we did reject either here or here, we could potentially see ourselves come back and fill that gap. Now, I think that's potentially what might be happening, but I'm not fixated on it because you know, I think definitely could be a flag in here. It could definitely be a retest to this zone here. So, you know, there's a few things on the table, or we could even say a running channel or ascending, whatever. You know, I think definitely what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be patient with this one. It's a bit unfortunate because I did have a trade in here last week. I had a nice trade up in here. Nevertheless, it doesn't really matter. Had a nice trade in here, came all the way down here, was forecasting this. I'd roughly be running around about, I think I had a 40 pip stop loss, so I'd be running around about somewhere in the region of around about 12%. So I'm not too bothered really. It's just one of them trades that you know just kind of gets out your grips. You could have really capitalized on a position if your management was a little bit better, but you learn from these things, which is super important. I believe I got tagged out around about here, where in fact, you know, looking back on it now, would I have like I was running around about 6% here, I locked in around about 3.5% there, and then I say to myself, well, would I have really just compromised that and just taken 2%? Because you know, on an odd case, this could pull back and just keep going up higher. And I had that. So I look at it and I'm like, okay, actually, it was actually sensible for me to be taken out there. And I think a lot of the time it's easy to beat yourself up about a bad trade. But if you have enough like management, you have a management plan as well as a trading plan, and you know, you followed that properly, then I think in the long run, you'd be much happier. You know, knowing that you know you're locking in profits and profit at the end of the day. 3%, 3.5% is immense. You know, I've taken a lot of trades and a lot of them are break even, so I definitely am appreciative for even 2%. But anyway, nevertheless, this could sell off, and if it does sell off, it'll be great. We have broken below this, and I think you know a flag here could be a nice opportunity to go lower. However, what I don't like is that price is essentially moving like this, and this isn't the sort of price action I'm looking for all the way up here in structure. You know, if we were selling off, I would have seen, you know, nice little sharp movements, large flag, sharp movement, you know, something which would have really just said, you know, hey, look, listen, market's changed, you know, like this, impulse, correction, impulse, larger correction, impulse. You know, what am I seeing now? I'm just seeing corrective price. It's not really the sort of price I want to be in. So definitely keep my eyes out for a reversal. Wouldn't scratch that off, but wouldn't really even well, yeah, I don't think I'll have GA on watch next week anyway, despite you know being in this sort of value area. The trade was there, but the trade was where I took it before. Already made 3.5. It is what it is. Move on to the next one. Okay, GBP CAD. This one's a pretty short one as well, I'll be honest with you. So, you know, like I said with previous pairs, we created absolute low, but it's not the sort of price action I want to be involved in right now. I think what we're seeing here is a potential running channel, and I think this could be a sick move to be getting involved in. We could even see a large expanding form. So, you know, whatever, but you know, running channel in these sort of areas, boy, this is it. You know, look, we're seeing corrective price, correct impulse, corrective price, impulse, corrective price, just ever so slightly, not to the low, but then we just sell off, we push off, and I think that's immense. Even this little push here, this could be enough because I don't think that this impulse was the full push away from this correction. You know, they've been holding on to this. This is one large correction right here in itself, and that's accumulating money. think if that money's being accumulated and we start going, boy, this could be the start of a big run. And I think right now we are in the start of a big run. I think that this bullish candle has a lot of money inside it. And I think on top of that, we're building a lot of momentum over here. So definitely want to keep an eye on this one. I think GCAD might be one that I might just keep on watch, because this could be one that I could be holding for a little bit of time, to be honest. Just need to kind of wait it out, see it through. Might have a large stop on it, who knows? But nevertheless, shaping up. It's going to be hard to really say where the low is because it's very, very corrective. So I'll be keeping it quite simple. I'll be looking for an impulse, correction, continuation, straight. So definitely keep that one on watch, reevaluate tomorrow, but that's it for that. Okay, GBP Swiss. I think weekly as well, it's kind of very similar to GBP CAD. You know, we have that, well, it's a little bit different in the sense that we didn't break anything, but we were broken already over here. I think over here we've had a clear break from that low. Now we've pushed above, like a few other GBP pairs, sick for the buy. Just need to kind of see where this correction is going. At the moment, I think we are at them lows off that correction, but I don't know. I don't feel fully convinced, but at the moment there's some opportunity over here. Call it a morning star. Didn't really break that low, but we are in that sort of zone. And you know, I think if this is going to go, it's going to go. It's just very, very messy, unfortunately. And I just think at this moment in time, Swiss pairs are like that, but perhaps maybe it's something I need to go back and just back test a little bit. But the nice thing I do like about it is this little bit. So we have impulse, correction, impulse, correction. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Doesn't really matter. It's a very, very messy sort of section here, but this could just push. So getting into these little areas over here could not be a bad shout, to be honest. Getting involved over here, stop loss down here, possible, could see a little sell-off before we push. A few things could happen. I'll definitely be looking for scaling opportunities along the way. Definitely always is some opportunity, you just need to know where to look. But if this is the start of the run, there's going to be an abundance of opportunity. So, you know, I'm happy to stay patient with GBP Swiss, but that's it for that one. GBP New Zealand dollar, same. This one could be shaping up overnight. Just got to kind of wait. Obviously, we are on Friday evening, so wouldn't be looking to take any trades because we are coming into high spread hours in a few hours. I've got a 4-hour candle away. However, looking at the 4-hour candle, you know, could see a little sell-off, catch people on the wrong side over the weekend and then pull back in, could create an expanding. There's a few things that could be happening in this area here. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we did start to reject in this zone, or if we did get a little bit of an expanding. What my game plan would be looking for either a push of any height, back in, a flag, and we go. But that's keeping it simple. Obviously, this pair isn't just simple. I mean, it can get complicated. It's not, you know, in my opinion, the easiest to trade unless you're in these sort of this zone here. That was easy to back test. This was a little bit complex, but you know, looking at it in hindsight, I was looking at it a little bit like this. Then, you know, I had to evolve it again, and then we came over here. It makes sense, but it's just one that, you know, eventually it just gets a bit extended, so you have to kind of pattern separate, and take it for what it is. And I think this is one pattern, this is one pattern now, and then the next bit will take a whole new pattern within that pattern. So it's just one of them ones where it does get a little bit difficult, but you need to get on the ball with your pattern separation, kind of just evaluate each price for its own section and then take it from there. So GN is one I'm going to stay out of, but definitely if I was going to be taking it, I'd be looking for that push down, take some orders out, push back in, create a flag, and we're off. And you know, that's where the mess begins, but we'll wait and see. GBP USD. Okay, this pair is also pretty nice. I mean, I think we're looking at a larger bull flag in my opinion. I think we're looking at something like this. It could even come in a little bit flatter, I'm not too sure, but you know, or we could just see a pattern over here, forget this little bit of price, take in this little bit of price, and you know, we see some sort of, I don't think that's the angle. Yeah, I think, like I said, there's some better pairs on the table. GU's looking good, just not good enough. Just gonna wait it out really, see what happens. Yeah, just yeah, it's just one of them pairs where I think there's some better shaped pairs on the table. So many things could happen. It's just one that I'm not too sure if yeah, just going to leave that one out. I'd leave on them 2 lines and just leave it as that, and then come reevaluate end of this evening, and then tomorrow and then Sunday. But can't really see anything shaping up on here. It's not really something that I am looking for, so I'll leave that one as it is. Okay, GBP yen. Now this one, I actually really do like it. GBP yen is definitely not my most favorited yen pair, but man, it sells. Like, when it sells, it sells. How do I want to take it? I'm not too sure. It's one of them ones, it's just got to really think about it. Got to really think about it. We had this level here. We're trading on that level there. It's just, will we break above? Will we come back up here? Will we create something a little bit more, over here? It's just there's a few variations with this particular pen. Obviously, looking at a few yen pairs, even though they are selling off and they look like they could be in the selling momentum, I think looking at it now, I think we could be pushing a bit higher. I don't think that the sell is actually happening right now. I think that the sell is beginning. People are getting out their shorts. They're realizing that big sell is coming. Do I want to hold it? Sell could come any day now. Big momentum could fall into the market. But I think truthfully, create another flag, we push up higher, we start selling off together, all the yen pairs power up, and we see some big sells. However, at the moment, I think I'll be patient. I'm not really going to do it, but I'll evaluate. I'll keep this one in the background. I'm not really too concerned about it, but definitely two things. If I'm looking at it on the lower time frame, I'm looking to get into a short-term position. I would probably be looking at this, and if we do break about below, start creating a flag, then I'll be looking at potentially this sort of section here and say, okay, cool. So we broke impulsively, we created a flag, and then we're selling off. That is what I'll be looking at in this sense. However, this isn't the sort of price action I'm looking for. I'm not looking for this sort of particular sort of price. So, I can see that there's some confluence and some things stacked up here, but I think it's not something that kind of smacks me in the face. So, I'm going to leave that one out, to be honest. A lot of people probably are looking at this, either looking for shorts, come down here, whatever. I'm just not looking for the short. I think this has got some long in it, so I'm going to leave that one as it is. New Zealand CAD. Now, this is a pair. Boy, man. Honestly, until I realized how to properly trade a lot of these pairs, it just changed my game. Changed the game for everyone, really. But honestly, sick. So broke below. This one, keeping it simple. Honestly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally just draw it on flat out, looking for a flag, either this size, could even be a bit bigger. If we do come up about here, I might reevaluate because we are coming to retest that. But more so, I'll be looking for a flag over here. Not looking for perfection, doesn't really matter. I mean, just want to see some sort of 3-touch. Not a trade I'll be taking, but it'll be probably from there to about there and then back, and then I'll look for the sell over here. That's it. That's me in the trade. Flag below that low. Simple. That's all I'll be looking for. This trickling momentum, yeah, it's corrective. I'm aware that we could potentially pull back at some point. However, at the moment, we do have them sort of arcs, but it's all over the place. Honestly, all over the place. This pair can really play with you as well. I've noticed it. I mean, it's actually it's a really nice pair, and it does tend to have this nature of breaking the low and then pulling back, breaking the low and pulling back. But I think if there's a flag there, I'll take it, because who's to say that's the low? We can actually pull all the way back down here before we pull back up. So I'll definitely be cautious and be smart. But I think there's some game to be played. I'll be on my management game. I'll just be really evaluating that and seeing what happens. But at the moment, yeah, pretty simple pair. Flag, sell off. That's it. Next one is New Zealand Swiss. Now, New Zealand Swiss is pretty much, in my opinion, not ready. Not ready for the buy. That is. I think the buy is coming. It's just it could be weeks or months away. Weekly, definitely like the structure. This one, I think next year will also be really fun to trade. Definitely need to be back testing this one a bit more though, because some of these structures are really messy. I can see the structure. It's just how they form. The ending part of it is just it's not your normal trade. I like to look at these sort of sections where when we finish a structure, what happens? The override can be clean at times. It's just the yeah, it's just the way, like, near misses and all of that. And I think, we've got this near miss, and then we've got, breaks above, and then we've got equal to. It's just need to learn it. Need to really get in sync with this pair. But at the moment, looking at this low, um, potentially a flag breaks below, comes back up. Not something I'm going to be trading. Not something I'm going to be looking for. Definitely, if there's a trade, it could be in this area here. So. I'll look at this as the inflection zone, maybe in there somewhere. It'll be hard to guess, and I'm not looking to guess something, especially with this trickling nature. Who knows? If we can just keep trickling, then I'll look for impulse, flag, straight. That's it. So literally impulse, flag, sell. That's it. That's the game plan for that. So yeah, keeping that one simple, but I'm not too sure, man. I wouldn't be putting this one on watch for sure. Yeah, New Zealand US dollar. It's also one I'm probably not going to be looking for a trade on. I mean, like I said, keeping it simple, pretty much a flag like that. Go in there, back up here, back down there, back up there, sell off. But what am I selling into? I could be selling into this, or I could be reversing. So, not going to be looking at that. But that's another load to be wary of. So definitely look at point one, point two. That's it. Keep it very simple. I think like New Zealand US dollar just now, even though that this one is here, it's broken above, we've got this high over here, we're just sitting in this zone. And actually, like a few other yen pairs, I'm actually forecasting a buy. I mean, it does look like the sell could be there, but not for me. I think the buy's on the table potentially. Just got to wait and evaluate. If we do sell off, start creating a flag, cool. At the moment, it's not price action I want to be involved in. It's not something I'm going to be getting involved in. So, I definitely look at that, and I'll look at this as a section. I'll just be looking at, kind of just jumps in there, kind of gets higher, trickles, goes to its high, breaks mass psychology, whatever, tricks some people out, and then sells. So I think when the sell happens, it'll be very obvious, and that's when I want to get involved. Anything else? I'm not going to really be concerned. So that's it for NJ. New Zealand CAD. Okay, cool. So, um, yeah, this one I actually do like this pair. I think this pair could go. I think this pair could definitely just sell. I think it. This is a long way away. This is definitely a nice little price target. Mass psychology, people are looking up here. Bigger time frame. What we're looking at? We're looking at push up here, this way, back up here. Do we have enough to say that we can go now? Yes. Are we moving in the great nature? Yes. What phase are we in? Well, we come into impulse, correction, continuation, right? So right now we could be seeing, a larger flag over here. And this could be the gameplay for the proper long. However, because we've met with this sort of level here, I won't say that this could just be a continuation to go higher. I think this could actually be a reversal zone as well as a buy zone. So, bear in mind that, that was the point of sell-off, and we came to the point of sell-off, and now we're beginning to sell off again. If we sold off that much, who's to say we can't sell off again? So bear that in mind. But if we can create some nice structure over here, very corrective, comes back down here, pushes back higher, comes back down again, and then we go, cool, I might get in over there. But nevertheless, if we get a push out from here to here, and then we create a flag down here, I'll probably be looking for a short, because I don't know how long this could go down and how quick it will go down. So USD CAD, keeping it simple, that's it. Okay, USD Swiss. It's a tricky one actually. I'll be honest with you. I was looking at this one earlier today, and I was thinking to myself, like, we're actually getting here. We're in a great place, and I saw this sort of rejection. I wasn't convinced as well. I thought, honestly, like I saw this rejection here, and I saw this flag, and I was like, oh, would I take that? Would you take this? Reduce risk entry, possibly, probably save you a buck or two, but the nice thing about it is you've had this sort of, like break between here, and you're thinking, okay, cool, we broke impulsively, we're creating a flag, could this be enough? But behold, we essentially just continued. But what I do like is if we just take this, and we say that was the 1, 2, 3, and then we ever so much evolve now, and we take that as the 1, 2, 3. That is nice. That is really nice. But I'm not looking to get involved right at this second. I want to get involved over here, this zone here. Could be a bit lower, not too concerned, but somewhere over here is enough for me. So below that low is probably prime, honestly, prime. If we can break this, create a flag there, oh, honestly, all day, I'll take a trade there. So USD Swiss, that's my gameplay. That would be it. And I think for sure I'll reevaluate that one tomorrow, but I think that is nice. Absolutely, I like that. So yeah, USD Swiss. So I was clicking some buttons and I thought I just deleted some of the video voiceover on one of the videos. I don't think I'm going to go back and check it, but I hope I didn't. So USD yen is the next one I'm going to be looking at. USD yen. Do you know what? I got super excited when I started seeing this sell off for some reason. Probably I wasn't going to get involved anyway, but what I did have on was pretty much this. Um, and then obviously that doesn't have to be the line, that's just a line. But then again, I had this as well, and I was like, "Oh, where are we? You know, we're somewhere nice. We started selling off. What if we close like this on a weekly? That would be crazy, right?" Well, it's just a candle. That's all it is. I mean, look at this leg. This leg is so strong. I can't really be saying I'm going to get involved in a trade here. Absolutely not. You know, the trade I'll be getting in is probably going to be down here. You know, be real. I mean, you wouldn't get into this candle just because you saw it selling. That's FOMO. I'd be looking for either something nice like that, creates me that nice big flag, and then I sell, or you know, I just look for something simple, break below this sort of zone here, and then any flag over here is great. So that's basically it for you, Jay. Keeping it simple, straight. And my absolute last one for Friday is USD ZAR. I'm not going to go through the commodities. I think maybe in the future I might do a separate video. It's just the video gets on pretty long, and I don't have no supercomputer to render it. So anyway, yeah, it's looking pretty nice. I think that is basically what I've been looking at. Nice impulsive move. You know, I think there was an inflection point there, but once again, how it was moving wasn't really something I wanted to focus on. We can still sell off from here, absolutely. You know, we've just broken above this, but looking at it on a daily, you know, I would look for sort of continuation like that before I even take the move into there, because that might give me enough to push above this and go up here. However, you know, bear in mind we could push up higher, create a flag over here, push up, come back in, and then you know we kind of go in here, make get a bit messy, go up here, come back in, and then what do we have? You know, we have a nice head and shoulders. So I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what's going to happen with USD ZAR, but I do know one thing, that the sell is going to be nice. So, you know, a lot of these pairs, USD pairs, haven't really shaped up yet. But I do truly believe that when they do shape up, we're going to see some big moves on the DXY as well. And it'll be no coincidence that they all start selling off. And it'll be nice. It'll be a really good time to be in the market. So that's kind of it for my Friday market breakdown. Thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, have a great weekend.